fire, and ice. Right down below, we are learning alchemy today. Some simple sand tracing. Not the best. But as we lurk, we learn something. We learn something new through the traces, the Kabbalah. Click, 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 click. To manifest, learn something new, and new. We congratulate the journey as we move forward in the growing process. Just as alchemical works best within nature and the nature setting, we would learn something with what nature, the alchemical transformation presents itself to us with. Just as such as all the elements, wind, water, fire, and earth. We are learners, we are risk takers, we are journey makers, and we congratulate ourselves for the journeys we take, the new experiences we take, and everything nature gives us in life. It's all within experience. And so let's take our journey now. Fire and ice. 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 Your journey awaits. And as with the journey, the alchemical journey works best and suits best within the realm of the nature astral plane as it presents itself to us fully and wholly for our own learning, growth, mutual understanding of nature itself, and everything the alchemical journey gives us. Fire and ice. Fire and ice. Fire and ice. Let us begin with what we can find as far as the path of alchemy and other things we can find through this. Perceptions and the belongings, the nature, the path, everything. Through what we can learn, the path, the insightful, highly practical work, dedication, perpetuation of the ancient art and science, and it promises keynotes to take from alchemy. Not to read through every page, but the path and everything we can learn. Start with the beginning of this guy from the author, Mark Stavish. And the alchemy. Let's begin. Going through the models and the keynotes. Content reading talks about the alchemical introduction of the royal arts, basic, spegerics, and the creating of the plant stone. Goes into different things, key things, and other things I want to take note on for mine and your growing experience as we walk through this plane together, learn, and for the growing, the learning, and the experiencing. Fire. and ice. Other things to note on, we have distillations, water distillations, initiatic alchemy, physical health and healing, spagarics, ritual uses, spigaric products, the red and white stones of alchemy, alchemical symbolism and tarot and the tarot conclusion, appendix, planetary hours, selected bibliography and things to learn, ritual, the one thing I want to point out is the different symbolisms, also keys to the astral world, and different things to learn within this, especially in the astral world, especially when we talk about astral projection on the other side of the realm, Philosopher's Stone, but keys are symbolism, keys to the astral plane of the world, the keys in nature, because how can we not have keys of nature if alchemy works best within the nature, the realm of nature, as it presents itself to us for our own, for yours and mine's own journey experience. Fire and ice. You also have initiatic alchemy, ritual use, red and white stones of alchemy right here, alchemical symbolism, and the tarot. Going into tarot reading, I for sure you, yes, not really big on tarots, but it's something to take note of and key on as well. Fast forward, you can read alchemical past occurred when I was less. He goes into his story, the author, latest 1962, and the year that a German alchemist, Albert Riedel, opened a new secondary school in Utah. So he's pretty much talking about his whole alchemical life journey and experience of the things he learned, took notes on, grew with, to pass on to other scholars, promoters, people who are just interested and curious of what alchemy is, and so on and so forth too as well. If you read on, it goes into the forwards and introductions and everything else. But keys. I could read through this book all day. But we want the golden nuggets. We want the keys. We want the golden nuggets, the things that are really gonna help us out, the things of importance of the alchemical journey, curiosity, and the experience. So, I'm kind of getting more rested, comfortable. If we scroll to the different keys of alchemy, the stages of the great work in astrology, goes into astrology. Signs of the different signs, such as Virgo, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorns. Keynotes, I'm a Gemini. And then the physical organs are the shoulders of mine, active, Mercury. And then the fixation of the alchemical phase within the alchemy as well. Take the notes, notes to take place and to find within what you are looking for. Fire and ice. The Quabala, and a fool's journey. Fire and ice. River. Other notes. Using the tree of life with alchemy. Tree of life. We have all the other trees in the surroundings of where we are. fire, and ice, and so on and so forth. More keynotes. Sorry, I'm itching. More keynotes to take within the realm. We have builder blocks. We have the tree, symbolisms for the tree of life. Starting from the key through Yod, Hey, Vai, Hai, Malkuth, Nadzak, Hakon, Keith, so on and so forth. The different numbers to take on, the trees of life, so on and so forth. Conclusions from that. The key points, basic alchemy can be successful, studied, and applied with any one of the follow. Simple cooking recipes, so on and so forth. General assignments. What do you have taken away? The takeaways from the general assignments, and general assignments from that. Fire and ice. The three essentials: sulfur, salt, and mercury. Basic, segerics. And then chapter overview, the three essentials, making a simple segeric tincture, and then inner and outer work of alchemy. All goes into different forms. The three essentials of the elements. You can learn about that as well. And then, as we go a little deeper, you begin to study. This also goes into a keynote of this, keynote. This symbolism, as you will see right here, that this goes into a transitional state of the transitioning of, let's say, for the graphene and blood. When I said there's blood and life in the blood, there's life in the graphene. This goes into the alchemical chart of spells as well. When you use the different elements of your surrounding, especially in nature. Chaos is at the top, because especially if you are mixing of DNA such as graphene or blood or any of the sort, or even animal blending and splitting of DNA, especially with technologies and your surroundings, because what you pull from the environment is initially your surroundings. I need to get more comfortable. I kind of have a little arthritis today. And so all the elements around, such as the niter, salt, sulfur, mercury, pulling from the elements around you, followed by the alchemical chart and table, along with other things as well. But I would suggest at the top, the reason, fire and ice, that we have chaos at the top. You have a heavy flow of all the things around you, plus with the technologies, if you ever want to split DNAs or atoms or anything like that, especially with blood and the graphene, when you have two life forms that mix perfectly well together, you create a transformation of a living being. And there are ways. Even at unknown histories, we know there are things that we can't get past. Fire and ice. We can't get past these things. Everything we try to get past, we just need to accept some things in life. Even things I've had to get through in my own life, of my own journey, would tell me and speak things for my own self as well. That would help treat different psychoses and different elements of our own lives that we probably just can't get past. Maybe we can't get forward or anything, but You can even use this thing right here and all elements around you to help you cope with the things that gave you trauma in life. Gave you things that were not supposed to be there, and apply it with the same materials of matters and different things to help you cope in your own life from the past, traumas, PTSDs, fight or flights, or whatever else. The elements of the world have helped, and they can also help you if you apply it right and stand firmly on the right meditations to have how to use it. It might sound crazy to some of you, but I have applied the same thing, and if it works for someone of my own nature, it will work for you too. Fire and ice. So very interesting. This is the exact same thing applied to an alchemical scientific periodic table or chart for the ritualistic spells. Apply it in your own life. It can be used for a healthy meaning. This symbol chaos is just really used for, in my own thoughts and beliefs, for splittings of DNAs and things that go against nature for the most part. I would say that, there's even dark magic in our world today that is being used for things such as this as well. Fire and ice. So it can turn over and use this same thing right here, such as soul essences, consciousness, body structure, and spirit life force, mineral salts, and then alcohol, essentials, oils, and fragrances. The three essentials: salt, mercury, and sulfur, go into the same thing. Fire and ice. Spirit, life force, alcohol, essential oils, and everything else go into the same thing to take note on. It goes into different aspects of things, not just bad but healthy as well, that when applied, it just creates something more elusive, I would say, that when applied with the right capacities, with the right meanings and formalities behind it, you can create something good or create something bad through it all. But apply it to your own life, especially deeply into meditation, different meditations that can be applied firmly. To take note on is that the growing from this is something spectacular, because going back even to the alchemical chart of what I was talking about, that either way these things can be used for good or bad. It's just depending on what you're rooted in and what you want to take from it, pull from it, and apply it to. It all depends on you, your circumstance, and your situation of what your beliefs are grounded within this, especially, I would say, to apply it deeply into meditation and the meditational practices of what is needed, of what you want in your life, and apply it. Fire and ice. Fire and ice. Fire and ice. Beginning students of the art, Checklist. We can go into different aspects. You have day, you have planet, you have power, your physical organ, your symbol, your herbs, the official names, so on and so forth. Throat, thyroids, lungs, the stomach, kidneys, the brain, the spleen, the heart, the symbolism, and all the different symbols that come with the power, the plant, day, the ruling plant suggested. Basically, it's all leaning over to a transformation that can be applied, basically. Official name, equistum, astratum, funiculum, melissa, and alchemilla. I should say. But basically, the suggested plants for their ruling plants of what it is, and basically the days of the week that go into this, the Saturdays, Sundays, basically the 7 days of the week, followed by the planets and their transformations of everything that goes into it as well, so on and so forth. Take the power, stability, self-awareness, the psychic development, energy, initiation, communication, assimilation, harmony, and my birthday. Funny thing is, how I remember this, my birthday either sometimes falls on a Wednesday or a Saturday, so I'm either the Saturn or the Venus when applied. Stability and harmony. Something good to take note on with this stuff. So, and then the basil, the fennel, lip balm, and it goes into everything else as well. So, something from the checklist to pull from as well. So, it just all depends on what you want. Begin grinding it by the basic figure. Sorry, my vehicle problems. So on and so forth, to learn from other keynotes, take into consideration going into tinctures and then going into other things, but tinctures of how to apply them, how they work, so on and so forth. And then you have the equipment needed, and then calcinations for plant soils, and then the right transformations to take place from them as well. And the equipment that is needed for that, such as a Pyrex bowl, the metal rod, mortar and pestle, additional alcohol for repeating the process, plastic and metal scoop for handling a cool ashes container that can be tightly sealed to place the ash. And after the process is completed, fire and ice. The calcining process, safety tips, so on and so forth, can be applied, so on and so forth. So look, it's been nice evening. It's been a little dim, but good day to practice and to go through the alchemical arts and reading on this day as well. So let's continue. And then you have the general assignments for chapter 2, notes to take on as well. Alchemy bridges the spiritual material, uniting them through a manipulation of etheric energies under the direction of the attitude of the alchemist. Everything in alchemy is composed of 3 parts known as essentials or principles, which are sulfur, soul, mercury, life force, and salt, material matrix. And then it goes on to the other key practices, the number of cycles. The 3 essentials are composed of the 4 elements, all which arise. So you can study all of these. The meditation practices for chapter 2. Meditation, the basics. goes into what I was talking about, the meditation, metamorphosis meditation. It's all about a transformation, taking each part, and applying them, knowing how to apply them, what you stand on, what you're rooted in, the formality of it, the transformation, and making what you want, and know what you are going in for, knowing your beliefs in it, so on and so forth, and the growing from that. Begin each meditation season with sitting quietly in a chair with your arms relaxed. You're in the lap or resting your upper thighs, palms down, taking care that your elbows are relaxed and there are no strain in your shoulders or neck. Tuck your chin slightly in to keep your head steady. Inhale deeply through your nose. Hold your breath. Exhale slowly 3 times. Do this. Feel yourself relax physically, mentally, and emotionally. Notice the increased sense of stability, so on and so forth, and so on and so forth. Fire, nice, fire, nice, fire, nice. Alchemical meditations, meditation on Prima Matra, or the mantra. Prima Matra, imagine that you see unmanifest potential like the witch chaos of Prima. The Prima Matra represents as a dark, heavy, and dynamic energy that begins to stir and move outward from the center like ripples from a rock through a still pond. And imagine the process. Basically, the Prima Matra, it goes into the different aspects and different forms of the different mantras and meditations as well. Something to take in. Spend the time on the part of the meditation, feel how one side is very dynamic, so it's just talking about the different energetic stabilities, different energetic parts you get from the different meditation forms. Very interesting. Something to take note on, and if you do a lot of meditations, it will give you a different sense of energy formations. Especially, I used to do Tai Chi, so with the different energy and the different forms you put into the meditational practices, you will get different energies, some darker, some lighter. It just all depends on what you are going for and what you take in and take from that as well. But what you are putting out is most importantly out into the universe as well. That really gives you a higher frequency or lower frequency. It just depends on what you want as well. So something to understand and educate yourself on if you are not educated in that realm, especially with Tai Chi and meditation. Taking alchemy and placing it in that, it's just really, it's all, to me, everything in alchemy is really just universal, along with Tai Chi and everything else that goes and falls into place. Fire and ice, fire and ice, fire and ice. Imagine the point of light. This goes into basically the limbic soul of coagulas, and basically which alchemical operations are undertaken and called. And the limbic, and is described as being going in like a glass egg. The shape allows for ascent and descent of energies in slow, natural fashion. Also enhances fertility and rebirth. The shape of the human aura and energy field is also described in shape and demonstrates the link between our outer physical alchemy and inner transitional alchemy, and shows how one is used to support the other. Just after you have undertaken your regular relaxation, breathing, the meditation, have reached your head, visualize the following. And basically it's just like what it's about to go into is like you are the master and you define your own destiny of life, what you want in this life. When it goes into apply the practice, and you will get at least all the result or some of it, and you just keep applying more, and you either have a good life or a bad life, but it all goes into what you want. Fire and ice. And then the creating the plant of the stone, key to the astral world. This is one of the keynotes I wanted to get into, especially when applied to astral projecting, or when the soul leaves the body, of where you're wanting to go. It's just like this white paper. It's just like, have you ever seen the thing where you take the needle and the thread and you cut from this reality into the next, and you can manifest and think on and take in of the things and say it out to the universe of exactly what you want, and that's it. This is the reality you will get, especially going into the astral world, astral plane, from this physical reality to the next place of wherever you want to envision. And that's what you will take. Fire and ice, fire and ice, fire and ice. And so creating an alchemical spigoric product is not only one symbol, it's also the highest and most rewarding activity to students occult symbolisms and the occult and the creation of the stone, even in the vegetable kingdom, symbolic, balancing an element to the base of the functional reality with the harmonizing the plant, salt for salt, and basically it's going into that. The same thing what I was just talking about, but basically applying all the elements you have around you in order to create something even of your own divine reality and nature, wherever you want to go. Fire and ice. And basically, the astral world and alchemy and the Kabbalah, the universe is also described as having 4 worlds, or 4 distinct, unique ways of manifesting energy, matter, and consciousness, going out from the most subtle manifestations to the most dense. These 4 worlds are often overlaid of the tree of life, and in many instances, each is given its own complete tree making for a total of 4 trees. Each tree represents the often complex relationships between energy, consciousness, and matter that have evolved. It shows how they are expressed in the Kabbalistic philosophy. For our purposes, how we describe everything using one tree of life and overlay the world on top of it for simple, practical day-to-day purposes, and will surface for nearly all of the Kabbalistic alchemical operations, the world that material life places in the world of action. This includes all material from will as well, part of the etheric net that gives rise to material form on the tree of life. This is the 10th sphere, known as Malkuth in Hebrew. Next is the astral or psychic world, known as the world of creation. And basically, these spheres are Yusod, subconscious instinct, high intellect, reason, an exact part. I was going to say, for some reason, Nietzsche. Part of the tree is the world of ideas and archetypal forms, whereas composed of the Typhorit self and Whack 2B. Basically, it's going to the different aspects of like the world you go into, the planets, and then you can talk about like, when it talks about the tree of life and everything, giving aspects of your own reality as well. So something to learn on as well. Very interesting indeed. Utilize the energy bond and the matter of the material world SI to purify the material body and its etheric link to the astral world. Fire and ice. To assist in bringing mastery or emotional psychic nature as expressed through our physical body, or achieve mechanisms of the spiritual, astral, and psychic connection to the material world and invisible worlds. In doing so, prepare us for the inner spiritual initiation. The initiation is the waking of the inner alchemist, or the magical term knowledge, conversation, and one's holy guardian angel. Basically, besides that, I describe as the one's holy guardian angel of someone. Forces, if you've ever thought about like, why have I escaped death or escaped this and escaped that? Well, my own beliefs is, yes, we do have angels protecting us, some stronger than others, depending on how your life, your upbringing, and what. Basically, everything that everything that's withheld in your subconscious, basically going into the unconsciousness of being blocked off from the consciousness of your physical state, meaning everything that is surfaced and not everything that is surface living that you perceive, but everything in the subconscious, basically going into everything that is unconscious, you can actually kill, but is actually not killed. It's still there. It's just on lower levels in this physical and spiritual plane, how I would describe this. Fire, nice. Utilizing the energy bond of the mental and material world to purify the material body and its etheric link to the astral world and plane to assist in bringing mystery over our emotional psychic nature as expressed through our physic body, our chief mechanism, the spiritual, astral, psychic connection to the material world and visible world. Basically, I kind of where it talks about that right there. It talks about the material world and visible world, basically almost like telepathy or things we can get a sense of, or even our other senses like our sixth sense, if you've heard such of things as well. Fire and ice. That's basically what chapter 3 is going into keynotes. Very interesting things. Definitely. You let the handle of the magical tunes, and basically it goes into other things like creating the plant stone, and other things as well that you can get into as well, and so on and so forth. Help people do not advertise alchemists or the practitioners of the Sagaric arts, basically the restoring of the health, becoming known as a healer and having spent all your time making products rather than progressing on your path. You can apply that as business as well if you want to know the truth. Order of the Golden Rosy Cross, 18th. I'm just basically pulling words out of this that I know that would resonate and stand true to me. I don't know how I would do that to you, but I kind of do that in my own spiritual journey as well, especially in alchemy. Pull things that resonate in my spirit with me and that I would take and let it flourish. So whoever puts out gives to you, you not only transcend that, but you can put it out even better. Then it's not so negative, but you can make all the bad stuff even good as well. Whatever the universe gives you, you can turn it into wrapping paper, a gift, or whatever. Turn that shit into gold, pretty much. Fire and ice. And then it goes into the lunar cycles and the alchemy, the effect of the moon, the monthly cycles on dreams, psychic sensitivity, and paranormal phenomena as well known. Is no surprise then that the moon is most important of the 7 ancient planets in the creation of herbal products. And basically that goes into the different phases, the moon phases and everything. It's kind of funny, we're about to go into this, the lunar or the solar eclipse, and basically it's almost like the different phases of the moon, and basically it's almost like different life phases as well. So something to take note on as well. But it's just, I don't know, it's just something that shows us different things to whatever or however we want to perceive it, then that's how we perceive it. Regardless if it's negative or not, we take it and we turn it to gold, basically. So now I just want to kind of skip ahead a little bit. I had to make a plan of stone, get rid of just little simple stuff like this, and go into other things that would resonate with me as well. It talks about the distillations of the different simple distillation setups, removing the remaining water. It goes into the different processes of that. And basically strengthening a tincture method, distilling, so basically more tincture methods. Fire nice. Basically it goes into more of the guy's life and what he learned through this. Charging water and sound. The keynote to take on is Nikola Tesla. I believe he had an experiment. He did something like this as well, where he did sound waves, I think even through water. I believe it was him. Someone like him, but I believe it was, and he did things like this as well, even though it was with electricity. I think he was on the other side. He experimented with sound as well. It's something I do remember years back reading an article or something like that, where he was also experimenting with other things on the side, even with sound waves as well. So something interesting to take from that. And then more distilling, but this stuff doesn't really excite me too much. And then scented water and water elixirs, the techniques. It goes into the initiatic alchemy, basically a definite spiritual and psychic and physical thing, while 5 such principles are designated and creating other things as well. Describe the nature of spagaric medicines, and at least one authority claims the initiation of the sole goal of the alchemical products. And it goes into other things as well. Bochon suggests the powerful medicines, basically physical illness, may be produced using the alchemical process. And basically, harmonic traditions support the middle position as well as the possibility. And basically, physical and spiritual healing and alchemy, secret. It goes into the different things as well. The chapter overviews of the creating the ends of paralysis, physical and spiritual healing and alchemy, secret fire, kundalini and alchemy, and Kabbalah. All of this. Basically, it can go into the nature of the esoteric initiation, often misconstrued by students. But basically, it goes into the transmission rituals by oral transmission, or so-called astral or psychic initiations. It is sufficient to say initiation is the beginning of the new aspect of our interior development. One may have interior experiences with our initiation cover. However, initiation sets them apart by making them progressive, and in other function, intensity, and purpose. The role of initiation assists us having understanding of our inner development. This, however, can be a bit stumbling block. Many schools, orders, societies offer initiations in the various degrees, complete, beautiful rituals, titles in the wall. Now, however, the students of alchemy will most likely have realized by the time they begin the alchemical studies, it goes into basically the shadow work and imitation promises of things to come. True lasting initiation only had from within. Basically, it's talking about different societies and schools that teach us. Basically, just, how I like to see is how you perceive it, basically, of what it is, how your function is in alchemy, because it is, at the end of the day, it's universal, just like any other thing. It's all universal. Everything really is universal if you really think about it. And running off frequencies and, really whatever resonates with you, do it. Fire nice. Also separates basically, and then basically go on so on and so forth to make the ends, and then so on and so forth. And we can go into the technique of making ends. Read all directions several times prior to undertaking the experiment. Be sure that you are familiar with the process prior to its actual performances. It talks about the equipment, glass jar, container, making a tincture, candy jars work best. 1 ounce of dried plant, preferably 2 or more ounces of herbs. 1/2 pounds of potassium carbonate. Glass dish, no less than 1 inch deep. So on and so forth. Liquefied potassium carbonate, therefore, use materials that will set aside for use only making future ends, and so on and so forth. Glass container goes into the different processes of how to make this stuff, so on and so forth. So on, then using the ends, the processes of it. Take 10 or more 20 drops in glass, preferably. Distilled water on the day, ruled by the plant on the hour following sunrise. Basically, different states and your environment working, manifesting itself around you to work best for the experiment that you want to pretty much. And the Kabbalist astrological rituals as you would do in a talisman. So basically, everything in your environment working around for the nature of the experiment ritual that you want, of how to make the ends, and everything else, fire, water, wind, earth, all the elements of earth, to work in its own best nature to help you succeed in whatever experiment and trial and error, whatever you are making, to work best for you and whatever you're making, such as even ends. And then we go into Kether. Basically, this is the more transformations into the tree of life, just different states of it as well. Different states such as the 3, 5s, 4s, 7, 8s, and 10s, H vowel, H, and Yod, or Yod, however you pronounce it. Kether, initiatic, alchemy. So far, it's just different transferable states of what it goes into from the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, up until you have a full Kabbalistic resolution of transformations in one for the initiatic alchemy and the tree of life, tree of life, tree of life. Keynotes. Alchemical initiation is defined as personal, interior, or progressive changes in consciousness and may be manifested externally as increasing powerful transmutations and increasing life energy. Kabbalistic cosmology is expressed in the tree of life. Can assist in understanding the pattern and purpose of alchemical initiations. The initiations progress from the densest psychic realms of the moon, sublist of Saturn, and to unity itself. The 4 elements of the quantitative, I can't pronounce that word, exists in the material world. Quintessence exists in the material world and form subtra of each of the planetary levels as expressed by the spheres of the tree of life, basically. Environment, the 4 in the psychic realms basically goes into like whatever you're tapping into. How is it going to work? Basically, the etheric matrix is the secret fire of the material world. Basically, the serpent of the Kundalini through progressive cleansing of the etheric channels. The secret fire is naturally brought into consciousness operation. The dream notebook is essential in the understanding of our inner experiences, going into experiments, along with how everything else is working. Its best interest for you, for you, for you. Fire and ice. And then it goes over to the lucid dreaming initiation, lucid dreaming, meditation practice of the chapter 6, daily planetary meditations. Meditate on the principal planet using drawing, have made. You progress, visualize images and colors you made them when meditating. Visualize the image of the nape of the neck, where your head sits in the spinal column. Hold the image of where you are looking back through your skull. Imagine the brilliant, glowing, etheric tattoo. Do this meditation particularly during the appropriate planetary hour for each of the polygons. Visions, visionary vision, visualizing something that you want, and the transitional state that's going to bring something good out of it instead of something negative, which we all want something positive, right? That's what I'm drawing from the meditative states from the daily planetary losing or lucid dreaming using the method outlined above. Visualize the polygon with its planetary symbol in the center of the nape of the neck. You fall asleep. The will induce dreaming, lucid dreaming. Write down your own experiences in your notebook. Initiation, meditate on the nature of the initiation, of how the permanent changing your consciousness in one or more specific areas would benefit you. Consider what you need to do to facilitate that change. Physical health and healing of the spagorics. Why we seek health, and basically goes into the chapter overview. While we seek our health that we need, spirituality and physical wellness. Plants, rolling plants, potential uses. Basically, rolling plants, and potential uses goes into like the different uses, states of botany, basically botany of the plant sciences and everything, configurations, everything you need to know about plants and the uses. And basically, while we seek our health, this goes into this physical, spiritual practices, spirituality, and physical wellnesses, so on and so forth, while we seek health. Many of the alchemical past begin because they are seeking gold, for others, long life, and for some to heal themselves or those that they love of sickness. In the end, all undertake the alchemical journey with the hope. Better still, the burning desire to end the pain and suffering in their lives, or for others, even in the most basic aspect, a desire for long life, if not immortality. Immortality would seem nice, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to live forever, right? I would. Especially if I was happy in my own happiness, I would love to live forever. And the infinite riches has in its own root the desire, the end suffering of some. Ending of suffering is what we all want, right? We don't want anybody to suffer. This is important because all these aspects, wisdom, wealth, health, and the power, health, wealth, love, and happiness, it's the things that really drive human beings, right? Really, at least drive some of us. So I would say, responsibility they bring under the domain of Jupiter. These 4 properties of Jupiter, health, wealth, wisdom, and power, can be interpreted as the 4 elemental qualities of the Jupiter. Health is water, wisdom, air, wealth. And earth is earth, the power is fire. Combined in its harmony, they represent the divine plan or the blueprint for our life as we imagine it. Yet there is a trick. These very things we seek, we cannot seek for ourselves alone, but for all humanity. Our actions must be based in the broad and tolerant love, but not foolish or incredulous. We must seek to be of service to the greater evaluation of all life. So basically, be a benefit. Yes, you are a byproduct of your own environment, but be a benefit of your environment as well. Physical health, love yourself, love others. You can't love others without loving yourself first. That's what I pull from this fire and ice. Problems and dosages, it goes in every aspect. Alchemy and homeopathies, and basically these are the salts and areas of actions. Aluminum goes into, you can even apply this to different alchemical tables, scientific periodic tables, transformations, rituals, and even not so much as bad but as good as well for the medications, medicines, pharmakeas, you name it. Something to take from that. And then we go into different methods for the signs of the Aries and different zodiacs of the lime sulfate, silicea, lime phosphate, sodium chloride, iron phosphate, so on and so forth. Cell salt name, circulation without a laboratory. Cover the mouth of the container of the plastic. Goes into the circulation of the laboratories, basically, of everything I was talking about just a second ago. Salt structure in the tree of life. Extremely interesting topic to get into as well. Transformation, but pull from this would be different structures to go into a deep, happy life, health, wealth, love, and happiness, as every human being wants and wants and wants. Fire, nice, and so forth. But almost at an hour into my video. Fire, nice. And you get into the plants, and their healing qualities. Saturn, the cubics, the crystals, planetary correspondences of plants, sphere of the tree of life. Cubic, tetragonal. The Mars is the orthohobic. Monoclinic is the Sun, and triclinic is Venus. Bihedral is the Mercury. Hexagonal is the Moon. Sphere of the tree of life, and the spheres that are with it. The different transformations with that into the tree of life. Cool. And Jupiter's, it goes into all the planet information as well, of what you want from that. Mars, Sun, so on, so forth. And everything else from the Moon will stop going to the Moon. The rules over water growth, architecture. Saturn, fertility, conception, emotion, instincts, and conscious responses. Basically goes into a zodiac as well with that. Different relations with the planets and everything, all the alignments of everything, even in towards your personality and your zodiac as well. Fire and ice, fire and ice, fire and ice. And basically you get up to all the varieties, plants associated with the moons, and the foods, and then you go into white lilies, nutmeg, watercress, chickweed, speedwell, periwinkle, myrtle, pumpkin, gourd, turmeric, all varieties of cabbage as well. Fire and ice. Fire and ice, fire and ice. General assignments for Chapter 7, meditation practices for Chapter 7, meditation practices for Chapter 7, using planetary hours meditation each of the crystalline shores presented. Do the for several weeks. Note the results. Meditate on the nature of the planetary correspondence starting in the native Saturday, horizontal, fresh or dry, some other rulership. Saturn, visualize yourself in the planet structure. What does that feel like to be? Horsetail, if possible. Locate the position of the Saturn. Repeat, and basically goes into the physical health nature of the alchemical sporadics. Meditation practices goes into chapters 7 as well. Assignments, chapter 7. So really interesting stuff. Ritual use of pecatory products, inner tools for alchemy. Previously noticed the stress that for alchemies. Be alchemy, and not just as odd a school of chemistry. Their inner aspects must be consciously cultivated, cultivated, maintained, and strengthened despite inability to explain how the phenomenon works. Modern science has demonstrated repeatedly in the laboratory that the attitude, very intention of the operator involved affects the outcome of various experiments in the field of particle physics. Basically, when I think of this, I think of dark matter. Think of dark matter being pulled from everything, and to us and CERN studying dark matter and find out what exactly it is that we are dealing with. Fire and ice. They did an experiment even with the dark matter and laid it beside the scientist, and it started to make something manifest within the human being of everything, such as nightmares, sleep paralysis, schizophrenia, everything that was manifested. Very interesting topic when you want to go into something like this. Learn about dark matter. I would highly suggest it because it's just something interesting, unknown, that we human beings don't know everything about, but something very cool to get into if I say so myself. Inner tools of the aspiring alchemist. Simple consecration of the tincture of the talismans, the holy blood, holy grail, and fixing of the stone. Go ahead and skip ahead. Technique for passive meditations, so on and so forth. I'm kind of going to skip ahead here. Active and passive method comparison, contrast, keynotes from that meditation practices, chapter 8. Fire and ice. Kind of want, and then we'll go into the zodiacs, the planets, their alignments as well. Something to take notes on as well. Meditational practice, chapters 9. Alchemy has 3 aspects: chemical, metallurgical, philosophy, carbon, transmutation, healing, longevity, concrete, expressions, inner state of consciousness. Light is the key to the magic in alchemy. Light is life, matter is solidified. Gold is the perfect expression of matter, and therefore is solidified. Gold. Light is the key to magic and alchemy. Light is life, matter is solidified. Light, gold, is the perfect expression of matter. Therefore, light in the material world. The endocrine, nervous, circulatory, blood, and lymph systems are all stimulated and brought to higher levels of functionality by alchemical experiences. Fire is energy. Colors represent the stages of the work or intensity of energy, degrees, and perfection of the matter. Fire and ice. Definitely light is the key to magic, I would say, in alchemy. Light is life, and everything. I definitely, my own condition, I do see things visually more than actually just perceiving them, but I also perceive different things as well. But really, you think about it, everything is light. Everything that light comes into creates life. So light is life, life is light, fire and ice, and everything that we can put out. If we can put out more light into this world, you will create more life. But if you put out more darkness, obviously, yes, you will create more death. More death, more death, more death, more death. Key points. Journal assignments for chapter 9, and then the Living Stone meditation practice for chapter 9. Having completed the great work of alchemy, and goes into the meditational practice chapter 9. Imagine yourself as having completed the great works of alchemy, of being in possession of the Philosopher's Stone, the panacea, and cure all ills and elixir of life. What does it feel like? What is it that you need to make the visualization of your own reality? Manifestations. I would definitely pull from this. The Living Stone. Prepare yourself for meditation and then continue as follows. Contemplate a brilliant sphere of light above your head or 2 or 3 minutes. Breathe in and feel the energy going directly toward the solar plexus, about 3 to 4 inches below the heart. Imagine a line of light in the extension from above as you continue breathing. The Living Stone. Prepare yourself for the meditation. Continue to contemplate a brilliant sphere of light above your head or 2 to 3 minutes. Breathe in and feel the energy going directly toward your solar plexus, about 3 or 4 inches below the heart. Imagine a line of that light in the extension from above as you continue. Fire, nice. Breathing, focusing your solar plexus, imagining the brilliant sphere of reddish gold, or reddish purple light. Imagine and feel its magnetic field. Feel its massive concentration of life energy. Simply continue to breathe in either 4 square or at its own time. Focus your whole being in your solar plexus with a feeling of perfect harmony, balance, and maximum life force concentrated with you. So basically, how I define the Living Stone, it's the perfect meditational state of the meditational processes to create a better, much more functioning well-being than if you don't meditate. Meditation requires focus, excellent breathing, and if not excellent breathing, it will create excellent breathing in you and a better transitional state in the human body. Is what I would protect, word pull from the Living Stone. Fire and ice. And then we go over to the individual Mercury. Meditation, sulfur, salt, and Mercury. 10 alchemical symbolisms in the tarots. We get into tarots. We get into alchemy has been linked to Kabbalah since time immemorial. In addition to Hermetic references, several Jewish alchemical texts exist, further strengthening the connection. The most famous of these is the Treatise of Mineral Alchemy, and it goes into basically the Kabbalah and how everything goes into the tarot. And this different symbolisms of with the Tree of Life and everything that is transcendental. And then the overview goes into the tarot as a hermetic synthesis, alchemical interpretation of the major arcana, symbolism, dreams, and the inner awakening of who you were born to be, and who you really are as a light worker, someone who puts out light, a starseed, or whatever else you want to present yourself as and take in to put out in the universe. Or even if it was bad, take that shit in, transmute it, and turn it into something good. Fire and ice. You have the keys to your future. You hold the future with the universe that helps you within. Fire and ice. The Fool, the Mangus, the Priestess, the Empress, the Emperor, And basically, it goes into secrets of nature from the priestess, the magus, the accomplished alchemist, the fool, the card that represents the aspiring alchemist early in his or her. Basically, the different tarot readings, the emperor and the Aries is Aries. Action, the first phase of the work. He is often associated with soul for the realizing power within everything. This is essential vital energy needed to initiate, sustain, complete the great work. So basically, this is going into everything that is formed on into a tarot, basically, and everything, basically, who you are, and pull everything you are, and it is on a tarot. But basically, it's just basically reading your future. Basically, it's like future readings with cards, basically, and it goes into destiny transmutated. But basically, it's just your future, whatever future you want, you can get. It just comes with that and with action that takes place within that realm of all, from the Pope, the lovers, everything else. The Chariot, Justice, Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune. Basically, I can read through some of these. The Priestess, the card reveals the secrets of nature to us. This study, so like secrets I could pull from this is like Fibonacci sequences as well. Deeply rooted in nature as well, such as leaves that are spirals, pine cones, everything else has sequences of numbers, and those numbers can go into angel numbers, well, meanings for your life and everything, so on and so forth. So forth, so forth, so forth. The Magus is the card accomplished the alchemist, creator of the philosopher's stone, master of the elements, is what is inspired to be what you become. The Fool, the card represents the aspiring alchemist early in his or her journey, filled with visions, is what is possible, completely ignorant, the reality of the inner and outer work of the weights. The Empress is the queen of nature in her full glory that represents the invisible energies operating in the material body. Life, the alchemist, the generator of forms and substances, celestial waters, as well as the queen of heaven hidden in the priestess. The emperor is Aries action, the first phase of the work. He is often associated with sulfur. Self-realities, relating power within everything is essential of the vital energy needed and then initiate, sustain, complete the greater work. So on and so forth. So basically you can read, see through all these, the wheels of the fortunes, the cycles of life, and the source of the misery, happiness in life. The Hermit is the son of the Hermes and the adapter who is in it. Justice, Chariot, Lovers, so on and so forth. So very cool, interesting when applied and read. Whatever your future is, you can have. And if you don't think you can have it, seek it first, and you can have something from it. Just pull from it. Pull from it, pull from it, pull from it. Fire nice, fire nice. The Hangman, and then you have the Death, the Temperance, the Strength sublime of all the cards. Synthesis, alchemy. The Hangman is the sign of sulfur and self-realizing energy brought to the fruition. Death, constant change and constant renewal. The Death is the loosing of energies. Temperance, constant flux and reflux of the active and passive forces, how the universe expresses itself and through them to become the magus. The Devil is the term you will hear often in the alchemical words pointed out in chapter 2 is the blazon in the arms of the devil and the Oswald Worth deck, and there's other tarots deck, drive. Kabbalah and alchemy is good to write this down on the card and place it in where you can easily see it when you are doing alchemical work. The Tower, the card is first disaster. The Star, the representative influence of the astral energies through the planetary hours. The Moon, this is a symbol of the white stone on the wet way. The Sun, the symbol of the red stone on the dry way. Judgment, that represents the discretion, reasoning, and the power of the traditions brought forward in the modern world. The world universe is the accomplished of the great work. The stone made of what the ideals of the chest are manifest on earth. The hermit's journey is done. The fool whosoever begins journey and completes it. The seeker who begin. The ignorance has acquired wisdom. It's the wise man, the fool, and one. Symbolism, the language of the birds. Basically, this goes into language of your soul, Language of your soul, your soul, your soul. Click, 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 click. Fluent the use of the words. Treat them as you would any other language. Specialize in areas. Study the means consistent use of the meaning, colors, shapes, and forms. Fire nice, fire nice, fire nice. And then lucid dreaming, gateway to the astrals, which I've had plenty of lucid dreaming where I've been to other places ever since my childhood. And basically, you go into other things as well. Depends on what place you want and what you fantasize in your life about. You can get that. You can have that. If you seek that, you can find that. Fire. And nice, fire, nice, fire, nice. And then the regular practices, writing them down, performing regular practices, dream practice. Planetary hours. One of the most confusing aspects of dream interpretation occurs when dreams appear to the fragrance of other dreams and we seek to deliver them. Regular practices, dream practice, writing them down is important enough to dream, is important enough to write down. The act of writing down a dream, even a fragment, is a message to the subconscious, and this information is important to keep it coming by writing down. We fix the volatile message of the inner Mercury, a message of the gods is bringing us, writing them down. All your dreams, I always write down my dreams. At least I did a while back. I probably need to start doing that again. And then the regular practice, dreams can be stimulated through a variety of practices, fall under the broad heading of the dream yoga and union through dreams. And then dream practice, you lie in bed, focusing your attention to the throat behind the Adam's apple where the thyroid gland is. Basically, it goes into where, what you radiate, and chakra work, I would say, this can be small, but radiates a large sphere of influence in the aura. The sphere can be extended from you above your sternum and just below the bridge. Fire nice, fire nice, fire nice. Fire nice. Dreams as the basement of the house. Distilling product is not clear if it's red wine or another tincture, but the color is dark. The rich, the basement is different from normal, and that is all dirt, brown pediments, space completely empty. Nevertheless, small distillation set before me, and the stairs behind me, they are not directly behind me, but instead we are at the angle and go up. And to my back facing left, to my front facing left is bare light bulb on a cord. It's from the house. House is Beth in Hebrew, and also the moon. The basement is the supporting structure and foundation. Yosa, this is a dreamer's subconscious distilling, whose color is dark and rich, all dirt. Basically, this goes into the different interpretations and everything of the dream world and everything, and where you at. I would kind of define this as to be good or bad, kind of like Insidious, the movie Insidious, where he would leave the astral plane through astral projection and come up, but it would normally be bad, but it can be good too as well. It seemed like it was always bad, but I could take some good parts out of it too, so, and even my own life as well, so, fire nice, fire nice, fire nice, fire nice, fire nice, fire nice, fire nice. Going over, and then the dream summary, the alchemical path working, the use of guided visualizations. Kabbalah is referred to as path working, consists of a series of interrelated symbols giving the connection with a particular story. Each story is nearly identical in the context, beginning an obstacle, the resolution of the obstacle, reward of overcoming the obstacle, and completion of the return of the content change on the path working to reflect the various experiences one will encounter along the spiritual reflection. The various experiences one will encounter along the spiritual path. Alchemy has similar stories, both verbal and visual, in which the process of transmutation is detailed in the form of one or more interlocking stories. Short verses of poetry, prose may accompany each symbolic scene, as in Saw mentions Mosaic splendor, so this regardless of the ability to imaginatively enter into a scene, bring it to life, and extract information physically It's critical to the alchemical processes. Prepare yourself for meditation. Imagine a glass, egg, or retort before you can carefully build the image in detail. And then it goes into the different, in chapter 10, the red dragon now transfers into 3 birds, one red, one white, one black. They are intertwined, and are pecking at each other. Basically, it's like the different aspects to it that go along with it, and the exercises of the alchemical pathways as well. For the final, the heat increases. The queen transfer into a king, a red cape and rose. He wears a golden crown, holds an orb topped with a small equal arm cross, symbol of the terrestrial victory. Also antimony in the left hand and a golden wand in the right. And then the heat increases. The 3 birds become one head, 3 head, colored white. I think I already read that. They increase. The heat increases, transforming dragon into a peacock with its tail in full bloom. Symbols are the language of the subconsciousness. Regular meditation on symbols improves dream life and increases intuition. The symbolic languages of alchemy and dreams are identical in the language referred to the language of the birds and the green language in traditional sources. Dream practices can increase dream regularly, memory, and lucidity ultimately lead to the astral projection. The 4 keys to success in interpreting dreams are consistency and symbolic interpretation, regular dream practice, writing down dreams and using planetary correspondences and link dreams from week to week rather than a linear progression across 1 week. The key points right there. Fire nice. General assignments for chapter 10. Obtain a deck of the tarot cards, the Oswald Worth, and basically it goes into the Oswald brand. Imagine the cards in a light, brief alchemical notation given them in the chapter. Use only traditional decks for the exercise. Write, draw, or photocopy, paste these cards with information in your notebook. Just for keeps. And then meditational practices for chapter 10. Begin a nightly dream practice as outlined in this chapter. Meditate with the various tarot cards and the alchemical descriptions given in the chapter, and notice your reaction to the ideas presented. I would say everything in alchemy is transcendental basically, but is applied to everything in the universe. It is all universal, but applied it is also transformational, transcendental. Everything's transferring. And in the conclusions, mandatory hours, starting with Saturday and Sunday, find the actual time of sunrise, find the actual time of sunset, find the time for sunrise on Sunday. Exact planetary hours, example, table 1, the table of the next page shows the planetary hours for 1 day. Goes into like the simple version of Venus, the low, Saturday, Sunday, Venus, simple versions, the days and the months, days of the week, so on and so forth. And then it's like almost like, I would describe it as almost like the special numbers or angel numbers as well, like 1111s, 777s, 555, stuff like that. Detailed versions, and then we get into the different signs and symbols, planetary days, hours of the day, and their symbols, their meanings, the Sunday, Moon, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, planetary hours of the night, and basically what's transcending, what's not transcending, but really these are just transcending planets along with the days of the weeks as well. And then I would say describe these almost like what they call angel numbers as well, but these are key special numbers along. These go in accordance with these, so both go hand in hand, just like alchemical charts do, scientific periodic table as well. One for the materials, one for the rituals as well. So, and then we get over the longevity formula, the Comates of Germain, key scholar of alchemy, meaning the path, philosopher's stone. Basically, this goes into more of his life and the great scholars of alchemy as well for the conclusion. General assignments of the epidemics, glossaries, so on and so forth. And fire and ice, fire and ice, fire and ice, fire and ice. And then we congrats to the author for, write to the author if you wish. And then the congrats to them, the commodals, the social medias, that concludes. This really concludes the elixirs of life and alchemy, which is universal. Everything is transcendental. Everything transfers into a complete state. Regardless to be good or bad, it's a state. But again, take note, keynotes. The thing I talked about to do, look up, that I had done and applied to my own life. You can apply, it would apply differently to your life, and things that your own experiences in your life would apply differently with you. Everything doesn't evolve around one person, but everything is universal, and everything does transcend in different ways than one. Fire and ice, fire and ice, fire and ice. And in conclusion, give your life a rebirthing, fire and ice, fire and ice, fire and ice. Out. Till next time, fire and ice, till next time.